Well, it's been a while since I've done this. I've already taken some of it off. I've already taken part of the handle off, but time to take some of these reels and clean them up. That's why these reels are 40 plus years old and still work, because I don't take care of them like I should, but I do take care of them somewhat. That's a good thing about them. You can still mistreat them a little bit and they'll still last for friggin' ever. So anyway, we got that ball. We got to take the the handle off. These handles are not what comes on the reel. These are larger than average power handles. I much prefer them than the smaller handles. They got big ribs on the handle there, a little easier to hang on to. So we got this little spacer here that goes under there, and then that's the drag. Unscrew it, wipe it off a little bit. Then you've got these two screws here that hold the plate on. Gotta take them loose. I know probably anybody watching this is not gonna really be too interested in this, because I doubt anybody that watches it has ever even seen one of these friggin' reels, much less use them on a regular basis. So now you got these big knurl screws on the side. Loosen them a little bit, or break them loose. Well, I don't want to come loose. There we go. So then they come loose. And then this whole side plate comes off and exposes all the gears and everything. And really, not a whole lot to do. You just make sure they got a little oil on them. Make sure everything slides good. Lubrication is very important. Then the big gears. I got this can of grease about 45 years ago from a place called the Frank Carter Company down in Atlanta. And they service Zebcos. And this is before I really started even using these reels. I went down there and I got some of this. It's called Gob Grease Aircraft. There, maybe you can see it better. But anyway, I just take a little teeny dab of that and put it on these gears right here. Just a little bit. Make sure you get some coverage. And then down inside of this, that's where your ball bearing is. So you just put a couple of drops down in there, and pretty well clean. Try to get some of this gunk off the outside of it a little bit. Gets in there and you can't get your finger in there, so you gotta get a screwdriver and kind of get all that grime and grit out. Clean it off a little bit, and get it back on place. Sometimes they want to be contrary going back. One thing I found out, these knurl screws, you always want to get those suckers down good and tight, because if one ever backs out, the reel handle will hit it. And I had that happen to me fighting a big fish a couple of years ago, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I even got the video, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this reel? And after I caught the fish finally, I figured it out. So now we get that boy. These, I tell you what, if you got big fingers, working on these reels for these tiny little parts is a bear. Get that one back on. All right, that one's tight. the other one tight. Now put a little oil on this handle right here. It went on pretty good a while ago. Alright, got that down. Put that clip on there. That's a little spacer. Put the handle on. Then you got this little bitty C-ring right here. You got to be careful, because if you mess with that thing, it's loaded and it will go flying off into space, and you will never see it in a million years. So you got to be real careful with it. It is like I said, if you got big hands working with these little tiny pieces, it can be a pain and can aggravate the crap out of you. Man, I can't get that thing on there. All right, there we go. Once you get it in place, you want to keep a finger on it. Ah, there it went. Then, got the nut on there. Got to get it good and tight. Then you got to put that lock on there. And you got to get it turned just right. Then you got these two little screws here that lock it into place. Another one there. Whoa, where'd you go? I try to take particular attention to, or pay particular attention to the reels that I use the most. I mean the real heavy duty ones. Well, you little sucker. The ones that I throw my spinner baits and stuff with, because they get to work. And that was trying to cross thread on me and strip. You little sorry sucker. You got to be careful with these aluminum parts, because it's soft metal, and man, that little sucker just ain't going to want to go in there, and I don't know why. The other one went in real good. Usually when one goes, the other goes real easy. There it goes. And you got to get them tight. Whew. All right, now flip this other cap, flip it over, take that off. Put oil on that bearing. In there where the friction cap goes. That little sucker goes on there. Turn it back on. And the thing you always want to remember is after you do this, before you try to make your first long cast, you kind of want to make sure your cast controls are set right, or you'll make a mess and a half. And lastly, get a little oil down in that worm gear. And in that track right there where it runs in, which is hard to get to sometimes. Then you tighten that drag a little bit more. Run it back and forth a little bit. And that one's done. And that bending over kills my back.